Hello everyone. So this video is in regards to the super full moon in Taurus and what that means for all signs. One of the reasons I'm doing this video is because unpredictable Uranus is tightly conjunct this full moon, and the Scorpio sun is opposing them both. So there are also equally important aspects happening at the same time. We have powerful oppositions, sometimes squares, and we do have trines and sextiles going on as well. Um, we have stationing planets to go direct, some will be going retrograde. So there is a lot going on, and you may have already been feeling some of this energy, and especially this super full moon. Um, but this energy will last a few days, if not weeks more. Sorry. So, in this video, I will first briefly explain the sign of Taurus and Scorpio, a little on the moon, and Uranus, and breakdown of the other dynamics, and finally what that means for each sign. So just to note here is that this is not going to be there is a change coming, because we are already in the midst of change. We have moved from water signs and we're going into fire signs for the most part. So the internal work, our feelings, emotions, conversations have been had, and we will now externalize these changes, some of which have already been externalized. Um, so, in other words, these actions and conversations will mark a before and after in our lives. So, sometime in the future, you will harken back to this day or this month or this week and say, "Ah, yeah, that's when it all began. That's when it all ended," and so forth. Okay. Now, this Taurus super full moon is at 24 degrees, and it is one of the last the last one of the last four consecutive supermoons of this year. This Taurus full moon is the ending or a culmination of the new moon in Taurus earlier this year on May 8th that we started on the journey on. At that time, we either began a new opportunity in our Taurus related houses or planted the seeds of what we wished for and started working at it on it. And now it is wrap up time. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about Uranus because Uranus is the wild card here. Uranus is tightly conjunct the full moon. It is at 25 degrees. Uranus is the planet of electricity, magnetism, lightning, storms. It rules innovation. It is quite unpredictable. It is very imaginative. It has idiosyncratic or quirky um, energies, as in the mad scientist or excuse me, the unorganized genius. Uranus rules the emotionally unattached genius of the zodiac, Aquarius. And I'm not saying Aquarians don't have feelings. I'm just saying they don't display them much. But they're like hard candy. Once you get past that hard shell, they're all gooey inside. Uh, of course, Uranus abhors any type of structure, um, tradition, like confining this tradition, or any type of confinement for that matter, and it will break free at any cost. And with the most important aspect of Pluto having transformed and leaving Capricorn after 15 long years and just a few days it will leave, there have been many disruptions with tradition, disruptions as in transformations, okay, with tradition and stability. So, for example, government. We saw the comeback king of Donald Trump and the election. Uh, it has transformed contractual partnerships, which is inclusive of business partnerships and family relationships, especially with the mother or matriarchy. So, like I said, the transformation has been talked about and the struggle has been internal for the most part, but now begins the external. Some of us are hesitant, maybe anxious or uneasy about making changes, and that is why Uranus is here. Uranian energy is coming in to force this physical change, to jumpstart from internal to the external. and to break free of any um, stagnant or confining situations. Now, that is the hardest part because it will affect relationships on all levels. Remember, we have the North Node in Aries, which rules independence, and we have the South Node in Libra, which rules all kinds of relationships. Okay, so first off, Taurus is the bull, and it is determined to getting things done that make us feel good. Taurus is a very compassionate sign. It is a fixed sign ruled by Venus. It likes the finer things in life. Um, so, like silk or creamy, silky ice cream. Taurus wants to feel safe, secure, and full, as in a full belly and a full bank account. uh, Taurus is the money sign. Natally, it is the second house of job, income, and and value system. Uh, and as you know, if you don't know, there is a bronze bull in front of the New York Stock Exchange. Taurus can be generous with its feelings and time, reserving any material things to itself, and will only share those things if it has a substantial return on its investment. Taurus can be quite possessive and stubborn. That would be the negative side, but I'm not going to say too much about the negativity because, like I said, I want to keep this brief. Okay. Now, note a little hint here. In your natal chart, look at where your Venus is and your second house. Taurus rules the second house, like I said. Um, and Venus is what you um, exude. Uh, the what it is who you attract, okay, and how you are seen by the other or other people. So look at the second house and look at where your Venus is. Those two aspects determine your Taurian traits, okay. Now the moon, of course, rules in nurturing Cancer, and Cancer is a family and home oriented sign, but it is quite comfortable in Taurus as well, except for the points of Taurus being an earth sign and being stubborn or too patient. It waits a long time to make a decision. And obviously, it's not a water sign like Cancer. So the emotions are um, as not in depth as much uh, as it would be in Cancer. I mean, I'm not saying that Taurans don't don't have emotional capacity. They very much do so, but not as flowing as a Cancer would be. Basically, Taurus is empathetic, but finds it hard to, let's say, be overly emotional or go with the flow with emotions. Where Cancer would be comfortable and understand someone who would cry or rage. Taurus would probably be surprised at these feelings. Let me briefly explain Scorpio's role here. So the sun is in Scorpio, opposing this full moon. Scorpio is an intensely emotional sign, and you can see when you look at a Scorpio, their colors are intense, black or deep purple, like dark brown, shiny brown. I mean, there are translucent ones, but Scorpios um, lay in wait. What I mean is Scorpios are deep hidden emotions that lay in wait to act upon, and when it is acted upon, it's fast. So if you ever see the animal, the scorpion animal, where if you look at it just exudes danger and intensity, but it stands completely still when it's found out. So it's judging, testing, and reconciling what it's going to do. Then once it acts, like I said, it is swift. If Taurus is possessive and wants to hoard things, Scorpio is excessive, to want to discard things what we don't need. So with Taurus, we take in the mouth, and then Scorpio, we let out the other way. um, Now, why is this going to be tough? This full moon and with Uranus. Well, the obvious part is what I noted above: is that relationships, especially nurturing relationships, your roots and traditions, they are fighting to say Well, you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay. And that is why we are seeing a lot of sun moon oppositions. We had September's full moon in Pisces opposing the Virgo sun. Pisces is empathy, and Virgo is analytical. October's Libra eclipse, so Libra's relationships, and it opposed um, Aries, Aries moon, which is independence, and now this Taurus, which is a material sign or stability, is opposing Scorpio. Scorpio is the intense emotional commitments, and so on and so on. Plus, the moon is, like I said, ruled by Cancer, so nurturing mother, and we had Mars in Cancer, so a lot of family dynamics have been going on. And now Mars is in Leo, and Leo is the father. Leo natally rules the fifth house of love, children, pets, our beloved pets, creativity, and gambling. So you see many cardinal signs here. Cardinal signs are the boss. They are the judge, jury, and somewhat the executioner. And we follow their lead. Okay? Okay, so before I start with Taurus, let me just give you some aspects that are happening on the same day. We'll just run briefly over it. Um, so I obviously already we know that it's a super full moon in Taurus. It's conjunct Uranus, and then the Sun in Scorpio is opposing it. Uh, the Taurus full moon is at 24 degrees. Uranus is at 25 degrees. Also, Venus is in Capricorn, and is squaring the nodal axes of Aries and Libra. So internally reconciling between commitments and separations, between relationships and independence, and so on. And it is already square Neptune in Pisces. That's separating. This full moon will trine Pluto, is sitting at the critical 29 degrees of Capricorn, and sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So we will recognize our newfound power in Capricorn and hopefully apply it compassionately with Neptune and Pisces being there with that trine. The moon will square Mars in Leo, um, and that's separating. Saturn will station direct in Pisces, so that snooze is over. So the boundaries and structure that Saturn has been working on in your Pisces house, that comes up for review again, or those boundaries come up again. Mercury in Sagittarius will square Saturn in Pisces, and that's separating, but that's conversation um, regarding your Sagittarian house and your Pisces house. And this one is the a little heavy duty, where is Mercury in Sagittarius will oppose Jupiter, and that is applying. So tense conversations between your Sagittarian ruled house and Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini, so your Gemini related house. Jupiter in Gemini will square Saturn, and that's in Pisces, and that's applying. Mars in Leo will, well, has opposed Pluto in Capricorn, and that's a whopper too. Even though it's separating, but it's going to last a long time. And Chiron, the wounded healer, the maverick, is in Sagittarius. So again, some kind of past hurt or regret regarding your Sagittarius ruled houses. Okay, and we will start with Taurus. Hello, Taurus, the star of the show. All right, so the super full moon is in your sign. Uranus is conjuncting the moon, and the Scorpio sun is opposing um, the full moon in your sign. Let us first talk about that before I get into the bigger picture involving other aspects. So, the full moon is happening in your first house of self, physical appearance, clothing, hairstyle. It can include plastic surgery, your profile online, how other people see you, and the like. And this is not a new story. It started back in 2018 when Uranus first entered your sign. So ever since 2018, there has been physical changes in the way you appear. And at times, these changes have been surprising, abrupt, or even shocking. These changes will continue through to your birthday next year, birthday month, when finally Uranus will leave your sign, leaving a completely different you. Now, narrowing our focus down to this super full moon in your house of self, this started, or you planted the seeds of this change back around your birthday earlier this year when we had the new moon in your sign. That was around May 7th or May 8th. And this is the culmination or fruition of those efforts or journey since your new moon back in spring, whatever opportunity that you were presented or given or you took advantage of. It could have been superficial, as in growing out your hair, or now you are cutting it, changing your wardrobe to where you are now seen as going retro style or gothic or traditional. Or it could have been less superficial, where maybe you have gone through electrolysis treatments or tattoo removal or adding tattoos. Maybe you started embellishing more with jewelry, or maybe not. Or you could have started, like I said, plastic surgery, losing weight. Maybe you gained weight, maybe because you were pregnant. Um, Maybe you have had a child and nursing, and your clothes are reflecting that. Maybe it was something about your age or health, and you opted for um, not coloring your hair and embracing the graceful white hair look. And maybe started using an assistance of some type, maybe like a cane or other types of physical support. You could have started dating where your online profile stated you were off the market. Maybe you ditched more provocative clothing, let's say, because of a partnership. Or you could have split up and your profile indicated you were single, and so on. Whatever the change was or is, it is now culminating with either a surprise ending or an electrifying fruition of a physical transformation that is being opposed by a partner. Now, remember, partner can also mean business partners or someone who really knows you well, where they can hold up a mirror to you. It can be a mother or a brother or a really good friend, or how partners think you appear to others, or how others see the change in regards to your partner, if that makes sense. So, like your mother or mother in law, siblings, or friends may think this transformation does not suit your current relationship status. I'm talking about the opposition. Like they may say, well, now you are married, engaged, or you have kids, and you shouldn't wear that clothing, or you shouldn't wear high heels because it might hurt your back, or you could have graduated, and your partners may say you are still dressing too casual for serious interviews, etc., and etc. For those of you going through a breakup, separation, or divorce, and please remember, I'm not saying you are suddenly going to be doing that, because if this is the case, you have already known this breakup was in the works. But in regards to this full moon in your sign, it could simply mean your online profile and how others see you changes to, like I said, single or single mom or dad. And the Uranian surprise is maybe how others are being surprised by it. Maybe you have had kept it hidden until now. In any case, this culmination or ending about your physical self either surprises you or others, which is opposed by a partner or partners. Now, this opposition, as well as the full moon, conceals more than it reveals. Full moons just have that character, they hide things because our emotions are hidden. The moon is at night. Um, Also, because Scorpio's involved, there's a hidden factor, either about a secret, maybe something about the past, or it might involve some type of joint finances. I don't know where it could be, but maybe your partner is surprised how much money you spent on a tattoo or plastic surgery. Uh, the speculations can get wild. In any case, this ending or fruition of your physical appearance is somewhat necessary as you start your career, status, or reputational transformation with Pluto now entering Aquarius in a few days. Okay, it's gonna hit your 10th house of career status and authority figures. And then if oh sorry, I like the window open and that was a car backing up or something. So the other things that I mentioned, the other planets that um are in play, the most important is, well, Saturn is going to station direct in Pisces, and that is your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations. So you're going to, um, friends, for the most part, or groups, have sort of not had boundaries with you. And the last 4 months or so, since Saturn was asleep or going retrograde, you you may have neglected those boundaries. So Saturn is waking up now, and it is going to be putting those boundaries up for you, so that you're not all lost at sea. And then we have the moon in your sign will square Mars in Leo. Well, it's a separating factor. Separating factor. So Leo is your fourth house of home and family. So yeah, there was a lot of heat and action regarding your fourth house of home and family, and there's a foreign factor involved in this. Whether someone is on the outside and is a foreigner, but it somehow affects your fourth house of home and family. But like I said, that's a separating factor. The other thing is Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Saturn in Pisces. So Sagittarius is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, and taxes. Squaring, what did I say? Oh, squaring Saturn in Pisces. And your friendship and group house is involved somewhat. So maybe you are talking to friends um, about your joint finances situation, and squares tend. So I wanted to tell you how squares and oppositions really play out. Squares require a decision. It is an internal struggle. So it's sort of hot and tense. Whereas oppositions require compromise or agreement. They are push pull. So they're like sort of standoffish, cold energy. It's an either or. Oppositions are stronger aspects compared to squares. Um, but like I said, squares are more internal. Okay. So going back to this square between your joint finances and your friendship house again, maybe you've shared with a friend or a group of something regarding your intimacy, something regarding your partner, and your friends may have said something that doesn't sit well with you, or they think whatever you've said about your joint finances, they're like making you aware of something that's not right there. um, Now the other big thing is Mercury is opposing Jupiter, and I've already done this in your November scope, so you can always go back to your November scope and listen to that, because I go into much more detail there. This scope is really just for the full moon in your sign, but I'm just mentioning it because all this energy is happening on the same day as the full moon, and it's not, you may have already been feeling this, this full moon, and you will feel it a few days or maybe even a week or weeks after. Um, so yeah, Mercury in Sagittarius opposes Jupiter in Gemini. So again, conversation again, but it's about money and value system and joint finances. So there's some tense conversations there, opposing conversations there. So it's an either or. Okay, and Jupiter in Gemini will square Pisces. So Gemini is your second house of money, income, and value system, and this year there was an expansion of this. Maybe you got a raise or a second job, or maybe you've had kids and your value system has dramatically, increased. And this square with Pisces again, it's friends involved. So maybe your friends are all up in your business, and that's not sitting too well. Now, we've had this Mars in Leo opposing Pluto and Capricorn. That's been pretty powerful. And Leo is your third house of communication, and then you have your Capricorn ninth house. So foreigners, education, uh, is opposing your fourth house of home and family. There's this with Taurus people. There's this foreign factor or education or something that has been a push and pull between you, between your fourth house, between home and family, and this foreign aspect. And it's really how you see your partner. Are they with you or against you? But again, listen to your November scope for more detail on it. And then Chiron is still in Sagittarius, trying to ease a past wound or hurt, um, or a regret regarding joint finances and intimacy. So that's in the background and helping you through that. All right, Taurus, I hope I gave you some information about what this is. And also, don't forget, you can always listen to your, or you should listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant sign, and you get a much, much clearer picture. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to note them down in the comments below. You take care of yourself, and I will talk to you guys in December. Oh, and also, don't forget, um, if you found this informative or at least entertaining, give it a like or consider subscribing. It's free. All right, Taurus, take care. Hi, Gemini. Welcome. Okay, just remember, listen to the intro. It really does help you know what you are working with. Plus, I advise that you do listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant signs from your natal chart. You can grab those and then listen to those signs in this video. You get a much, much clearer picture. Okay, Gemini. So it's no surprise that money is quite important to you, as you have many people relying on you and ongoing projects that you are involved somehow. Specifically, you are involved with joint financing and balancing all that. That's where your power has been, and that's where the transformation has been made. So equally important to this matter is some sort of secret and or behind the scenes project that you may have been either working on by yourself or with another, or something in the past. And this Taurus super full moon does hit that area, as it falls in your hidden house of secrets, behind the scenes, the past, confining spaces, your faith and your psyche. This is a super full moon. It's at 24 degrees. It is tightly conjunct Uranus, and the Scorpio sun is opposing it. Again, all that detail is in the intro, so you can listen to that. So, in regards to the super full moon, think back to earlier this year in late spring, around the new moon in Taurus. It was, I think, May 7th or May 8th. And the opportunity that was presented to you in secret, um, or you planted the seeds of something specific in regards to your 12th house of behind the scenes and the past. Um, well, before we get into all that, let us look at this house of secrets since 2018 and when Uranus first entered Taurus, your 12th house. I will say that most of you have been dealing with intimacy and joint finance issues way before that, but especially starting in 2018, your past, a secret or secrets suddenly started threatening um, your intimacy and joint finances struggles. Um, or you just had this real desire to just be by yourself and think of things. Uh, um, so, if not affecting other areas of your life, such as your career, reputation, and your value system, so these so these sudden surprises regarding your your a secret or the past has been affecting these other parts of your life. So, sudden revelations about the past, and granted, sometimes maybe out of context, has made it harder to keep yourself above reproach, which encroached on the trust you have needed from a partner, maybe. This ongoing issue with intimacy and joint finances is a much easier and different picture now for you, even from a few weeks ago. We just had one last uh, you're just going to have this one last agreement or disagreement or discussion coming up for a reconciliation or a compromise the first week of December. But that was Pluto in Capricorn. It will be leaving Capricorn just in a few days, so that um, heavy task with intimacy and joint finances will leave, and you will be entering a different area, a much more uplifting area. It will have to do with foreigners, travel, higher education, publication, and so forth. Now, getting back to this secret or behind the scenes project that you initiated back during the new moon in Taurus earlier this year, is now coming to fruition, culmination, or an ending, but with another element of surprise. Okay. Uh, Suffice it to say, you might not be expecting something being revealed, maybe, but it will either free you of this self-imposed, like, confining space, or it'll free your psyche, or you will understand how your efforts has now come to fruition regarding the past. Okay, it might be like an aha moment. This revelation or ending can be mundane, as in a repetition of a past event, and you may not be caught off guard, but others might be. Or it can be a joyous reveal of a behind the scenes project, that you will surprise others, or maybe even yourself, with the amount of work you have exhausted on it. It's just Uranus is tightly conjunct this super full moon. And if you listen to the intro, you'll understand how Uranus works. So let's look at what else is going on in the sky that day, or right around it, because these energies, there's a lot going on. Again, in the intro, I explain it. Um, and Even this full moon, it's not, you might have already been feeling it, um, but it's a powerful full moon. It's a super full moon, and you will feel it a few days, if not a week, or weeks after. Okay. Um, okay, so you, just like Taurus, have a foreign element involved with this full moon ending or culmination. I just wanted to mention here, full moons always conceal something. They're at night, they're hidden. That's just the character of full moons. Plus, astrologers really don't know what goes on in your 12th house, 12th hidden house. And we are in Scorpio season to top all this off. Um, uh, as this full moon is opposing the Scorpio sun. So Scorpio always has something of a secret or hidden. So your scope here, and with this full moon, is literally a secret wrapped in a mystery, and you are the enigma. Sorry, forgive me. I'm just laughing with you. But forgive me if I don't speculate much more as for Geminis in this video, as I would on other videos or signs. And just to tell you the facts here. And hopefully, with listening to your sun, moon, and ascendant, you would probably be served better than me going on endless speculations of what this might be. Okay, so the fact is, this super full moon in Taurus is regarding your 12th house of secrets in the past. Second, the Scorpio sun is opposing an ending here, or a surprising revelation about a hidden matter, where your routine, health, or schedule might be suffering, or will be thrown a monkey wrench as a result. Because you have so much on your plate, and you are the messenger of the gods, especially during this time, where you're also very busy with conversations, agreements, um, with partners. I can see where this can have you deviating from a set routine, causing you to be hopefully not mentally exhausted. So do take time out and do naps or meditate. It will help you tremendously. You have decisions here, and I will touch on this a little later. Three, your heated communication with partners are reflecting the surprising revelation as it goes forward and backward, because it may have been taken out of context, like I mentioned before, and you are scrambling maybe to fix that because authority figures are taking notice. Um, Fourth, the only issue I see really is your own fear of the past, or regarding a secret that makes you argue against your own interest. Jupiter has been in your sign since your birthday month, expanding your reputation, appearance, and magnanimity. Okay, you're seeming very magnanimous, especially to friends, family, siblings, and cousins. Plus, you have surmounted your intimacy and joint finances issues. People are defending you on your own behalf. So whatever is being revealed here will not affect you as much as some of you fear that it will. So I would just advise for you to be disciplined in your communication and dialogue with partners or authority figures and family or children, because of the opposition from the Scorpio sun, and an applying Mercury in Sagittarius opposition to Jupiter in your sign. Okay, so tense, hmm, opposition are push pull. So there's your partners, and you and a partner are opposed um, in communication, and applying square from Jupiter to Saturn in Pisces. Yeah, so there is a lot going on, and well, I'll mention that later. Well, no, Mercury will be going retrograde, so you really don't have all the information here yet. Um, and besides, on full moons, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned that, but full moons conceal more than they reveal. So try to avoid hardline decisions on this full moon or around this full moon, after this full moon, um, regarding this 12th hidden house or project. There is clearly some kind of hurt or pain that a partner is feeling, or whatever your partner is communicating, it's bringing up a past hurt or a regret. Um, and you being heated in your discussion, or them being heated in the discussion, will not serve anyone. Cooling down and choosing your words carefully will actually lend to some kind of healing. Now, I'm not saying embellish the truth. That will not work, especially for you, Gemini, because you are a fast talker and usually can outtalk anyone. Plus, you tend to say things that people want to hear instead of what they need to hear. And that is what causes the trust and intimacy issues, as you well have known because you've gone through that for the past 15 years. So be your magnanimous self and avoid heated, fast talking. Take your time and give others time to digest or to reveal to you what they may be hiding as well. But in regards to this full moon, I think even if this ending catches you by surprise, you do feel immediate relief of some kind. Um, because Pluto will be leaving Capricorn in just a few days and going on into Aquarius. So you'll feel that heavy burden lift instantaneously. Uh, just keep the conversation on medium instead of high, because, like I mentioned, Mercury, your ruling planet, still has information to bring you later on. Okay, but you are talking to a lot of people, and these people look like partners. Doesn't necessarily only mean your intimate partner. And there's a theme of an overarching theme for the good of all type of deal. And you are really busy with these partners, talking, conversing, agreeing, making plans. It seems all uh well, this hidden thing, whatever it is, and it's your 12th house, so I can't really see what it is, but it's important, and you're trying to keep all these partners loyal somehow, or trying to pick out loyal people, or trying to discern where to let go and where to control. Um, but if you listen to your November scope again, maybe it'll give you some clues, because the planetary actions besides the super full moon, and this opposing and Uranus all in the mix. Uh, I've gone into detail with the other energies that are happening on the same day. The one thing is Pisces. Saturn in Pisces will station direct, so pay attention to these days. The veil will be lifted, and you will get some type of communication or clue regarding your career status, authority figures. So that house, that situation has been a reprieve for the past few months since Saturn has been retrograde, but Saturn will station direct. And if authority figures or um, your reputation or something like that has been trampled upon, or authority figures are taking like advantage of your time or what have you, Saturn is waking up and helping you put up those boundaries once again, pulling you back to shore. So pay attention to what's going on with your career and status that day, because oh my god, I hate when my mouse falls asleep. Um, and and then also listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant, and it really does help you get a clearer picture. Okay, Gemini. Oh, also, if you have any questions or comments, please note them below in the comment section. And if you found this informative or even entertaining, consider subscribing or at least giving it a like. I will talk to you guys in December. Hi, Cancer. Hope you guys are all doing well. So we have a Taurus super full moon in your 11th house of friends, a friend, groups, and associations. And the Scorpio sun is opposing um, this full moon. Scorpio is your fifth house of love, children, pets, and gambling. And there is a surprising factor to this ending or culmination, as we have wild Uranus conjunct the moon. Uranus is currently in Taurus. Before going further, I do advise you to listen to the intro, as it gives you a background story and tells you how these energies are working, because Uranus, I describe Uranus there so you'll understand its energy. It's very unpredictable. It's abrupt. Sometimes it can be a violent surprise or what have you. So do listen to the intro, and do listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant signs, uh, because it will give you a much clearer picture. Okay. So there is a lot going on during this full moon, with opposition squares, it trines and sextiles, and a surprising element in the mix. That is why I wanted to do this video for you guys. First, I would like you to think back to 2018, when Uranus first entered Taurus and started shaking up your friendship and group house. Who you thought your friends and groups were, or who you anticipated them to be, has been either less than ideal, if not disruptive, to you, or maybe has been exhilarating and very freeing for you, which has affected other areas of your life. Cancerians usually do not like surprises or abrupt shifts, especially with friends, as when you make friends and accept them within your group, they are considered family. And most of your extended family are considered friends by you too. And again, on the other side of it, most of you have really come to appreciate these wild friends and groups, because they have contributed to freeing you up somehow. Uranus just works that way. So going back to this upcoming super full moon in Taurus, it is the ending or culmination that started back in late spring, specifically May 8th, with the new moon in Taurus. That you either met a new friend, or you associated with a new group, or something new within this group or friend started, or you seeded an innovative idea, maybe with a friend or group. Now, there is an opposition to this ending or culmination from either a lover, children, or even a pet, maybe, that is involved somehow. This is an opposition, it is not a square. So there is no really a room to maneuver, sort of. That is, it is an either or situation. Excuse me. So it may be a friend that has become a lover, and the relationship is ending, and it's culminating into a romance or the next step. Or if you are, um, or if you or the other have children, the children are opposing this ending or culmination. For the same token, it may be you that is opposed to maybe your children are making a friend into a lover. Or it could be that you have a new pet or an aging pet, and you simply don't have time for this group association or this friend, and that's what's ending. The surprising factor of Uranus in this mix will be the tiebreaker, as Uranus does not condone any kind of confinement. How it may work out is, it may just be a surprise that some kind of friendship or group association ends, or the surprise is coming from a friend or group that is causing an ending. Excuse me. So let us look at what else is going on that day to maybe get a clearer picture. So we're still going through the heavy duty Mars in Leo, your second house of money and values, and opposing Pluto in Capricorn, your seventh house of partners and open enemies. It is a separating opposition, um, and it may be a heated contributing factor to the surprise ending. I mean, we can speculate forever on that. Like, it may have been a secret affair involving a friend, or like I mentioned before, this may be you and your partner are opposed to your um, maybe child or extended family or siblings friend. Now, let us not forget that the opposition is coming from the Scorpio sun, and full moons conceal more than they reveal. Um, and Scorpio, in its own, is has hidden factors. It is secretive, so it might have been a secret affair or a secret unknown to you that is causing the surprise and opposition. I mean, that's just one scenario. It's just an example. I'm not saying that's the case. There's also a couple of squares from Mercury in Sagittarius to Saturn in Pisces, which is separating. And Mercury is opposing Jupiter in Gemini, which is applying. So, your health, your routine. So, conversations and partially known facts regarding a schedule or routine that is causing an either or situation regarding the past or a secret, and travel plans, foreigners, or education are all in the mix. I say partially known facts because it is Mercury in Sagittarius and Mercury will retrograde, so more information is coming. Plus, Mercury is opposing Jupiter in Gemini. Again, that's your secret hidden house. Gemini is. I know for many Cancerians who are not partnered, this may be a relationship that started as a friendship but turned into a romance, and you or they have kept it a secret. Partially, it has a foreign element. It could be a foreigner, and for some reason, you two are separated by distance. Um, or this could be a sibling or a cousin that has this foreign relationship, and I'm doing it in quotes, air quotes, that has caused a stir because it has not worked out. Um, maybe because of there's this thing that's flashing, like for maybe a legal reason or the law, and they are still hanging on. And the surprise may be a travel that happens abruptly and it ends this friendship or takes it to the next level. The speculation can go on, but just know a friend, a group association has a surprising ending because there is either an opposition from a lover or child, or it is ending because of a child or a lover. Also, this Taurus super full moon is the fourth and final super full moon of this year. And just like the full moon in Pisces, which opposed the Virgo sun in September, um, there is a dual like choice or option or possibility here. Um, Plus, there is more info coming after, as one, it is a full moon, so something is concealed. Full moons conceal more than they reveal. Okay, it is at night; it's hidden. Uh, Two, Scorpio is inherently secretive, and because Mercury is already in shadow retrograde and will be going retrograde um, by the 25th, I think. So more info will be coming through, and that may also cause reversals, delays, and cancellations. But if you listen to your November scope, I go into detail much more on all these other energies going on. So if you haven't listened to that, maybe you want to pull that up and listen to it too. As I always say, a full moon, let alone a super full moon, you should try to avoid hardline decisions because you do not have all the facts. Give yourself and others space of a few days or a week, even, or in this case, weeks. um, the other thing is Saturn will station direct in Pisces, and Pisces is your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, higher education, publication. So you've had a reprieve, or you've set something on the back burner regarding these things, or one of these things, for the past 4 or 5 months. And now Saturn will station direct and go forward. It's waking up. It's reviewed all this that you've kept on the back burner, um, and you may have been. Um, Neptune is in Pisces, so there has been some sort of going overboard, or maybe foreigners, or this education thing has just taken up too much of your space, and Saturn is waking up here and putting up those boundaries once again, pulling you back to shore, and getting you out of this tumbling ocean of foreigners. um, so what I'm trying to say is pay attention to these couple of days, because when a planet stations to go retrograde or direct, it is very powerful and a veil is lifted. You get clues or a message or a sign. Okay. And I went through all that. Yes. So, Cancer, if you did find this informative or entertaining, at least consider subscribing. It's free, or at least give it a like. And if you have any questions, just do comment below. I would love to answer them. All right, Cancer, take care of yourself. This scope was only regarding this full moon, so that's why it's short. I will talk to you in December. Sorry about that clanking. It's my mouse. I think I need new batteries. It keeps falling asleep. All right, talk to you soon. Hi, Leo. Crazy things going on, and you are just not in the mood to deal with all of it. Um, but unfortunately, you are actually the exact person needed to set everyone and everything straight. Mars is in your sign, and you are unstoppable, but you are also the leader and magnanimous. So everybody needs your wisdom here. So I did this video for the super full moon in Taurus. I do advise that you listen to the intro. It does give you a backstory and gives you much more detail on Taurus, Scorpio, and Uranus. Uranus is the wild and crazy factor here. So let's try to listen to that, and also listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant signs. Um, it really does give you a much clearer picture. Okay, and the scope will be narrowed only to the full moon in Taurus. I will touch on the other aspects, but not as much in detail. Okay, so we have a full super moon in Taurus at 24 degrees. That is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. The Scorpio sun, which is your fourth house of home and family, is opposing this full supermoon. And crazy Uranus is tightly conjuncting the Taurus super full moon at 25 degrees. So, an unexpected ending or culmination regarding your career, status, or reputation that your family, home life, is just in opposition of this ending, or this ending is because the home and family is in opposition to it. It might be causing this ending regarding your career. But crazy Uranus is somehow here to liberate you in regards to your career and status. A lover, your child, or grandchildren is in the mix, and there is something hidden about your home and family and this younger generation, either hidden from you that is being revealed by a friend, or you are hiding something about your home and family from a friend or maybe a partner. This hidden factor is also being displayed by the fact that the full moons in general, let alone a super full moon, uh, conceal more than they reveal. It's just that's the character of a full moon. It's at night, so it's hidden. Um, and what did I? This hidden factor is also being displayed by the fact, yeah, uh, and plus we are in Scorpio season, and Scorpio is inherently secretive. Um, Not to dump on the parade even more, but money and values are like an underlying murmur that you are somewhat keenly aware of. Okay, but that's in the background. So I'm just going to rattle off some squares and other oppositions happening at the same time. We have um, so let us look at that. I'm sorry, my mouse keeps dying. All right. So going to the moon will square Mars in your sign, and the moon in Taurus, that is your 10th house. So there is an abrasive aspect. Something is not sitting well regarding you. You are not taking kindly to this square, to this emotion or feeling regarding your career. Now, this one, I want you to pay attention these couple of days, because Saturn will station direct in Pisces. And Pisces is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, taxes or credit, government benefits. Um, and whenever a planet stations, either direct or retrograde, it is very powerful, and a veil is lifted where you get like a picture or a clue of what is going on behind the scenes. Okay, and again, the eighth house is does have a secretive component to it. So, and whatever joint finances, the last 4 or 5 months when Saturn was retrograde, um, boundaries might have slipped, and you might have lost control over joint finances. Well, Saturn is waking up now and helping you put up those boundaries once again, pulling you back to shore from the sea, just taking you off, or somebody taking advantage of any joint finances matter or attack situation. So pay attention to that. And then we have Mercury in Sagittarius is opposing Jupiter in Gemini. So Sagittarius is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and our beloved pets. And Gemini is your 11th house of groups, friends, and associations. So this is an applying opposition, and oppositions are hard aspects. They are an either or situation. So you might be maybe a lover or a child or a grandchild, whatever they're communicating to you, um, is whatever the communication is it's opposed to your hopes, wishes, and dreams of the future for them. So look at that. But oppositions, even though oppositions are harder aspects than squares, at least oppositions are external. Squares are more internal. It's an internal conflict. But oppositions are external. It's with the other. So agreements and compromise can relieve those the oppositions. And there is going to be compromise coming in because Ceres is going to be working on that, especially, and you'll see the results of that the first week of December. Um, Jupiter in Gemini will square Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. And again, your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams are friends. And again, another internal conflict within yourself regarding joint finances there. Mars in your sign um, opposed Pluto in Capricorn. So something about the way you appear, your physical self, your profile was is in opposition to some sort of health matter, routine, or schedule here. Uh, this has already happened. It is separating, but it's a powerful opposition. So we're going to feel this energy for a little bit longer than expected. So that's also in the background. So for you, you definitely need to um, meditate, take naps, take walks, burn off that energy because Mars is in your sign, okay, and it's putting the heat on you regarding your physical appearance. Uh, and Capricorn, like I said, is your health and routine and habits. So slow down and yeah, take in everything in perspective. Plus, the other thing I wanted to let you know is since full moons conceal more than they reveal, try to avoid hardline decisions, um, especially on the full moon day or days. And the energy of a full moon is up to a week sometimes or more. So try to avoid hardline decisions, especially because we have Mercury, which is in Sagittarius, who is already shadow retrograde and will be going retrograde on the 25th. So you don't have all the information here. You will be getting more information, and there will be reversals, maybe cancellations or delays. Um, so what I'm trying to say is just don't make hardline decisions. Give yourself and others room to contemplate things, and there are going to be compromises coming in. Ceres is going to help with that, the planet Ceres. And Chiron is in Sagittarius. So there is, Sagittarius again is your house of love, romance, and children and pets. Chiron is the wounded healer, he is the maverick. This is some sort of um, a wound that doesn't heal, but it can be cathartic healing. Um, the energy can be used in healing in the way that that person is hurt can teach others on how to heal. That's how the energy of healing can come through that. But Chiron in Sagittarius, so maybe your child or lover or pet has a past regret or a hurt that has happened to them, and you are feeling for them. You are feeling this hurt for them, and you will help them. You natally rule the fifth house of love, children, and creativity. So that's your strong suit, and that's why I said um, you may not want to deal with it, but you're actually the perfect person to deal with this uh, stuff that's going on. Plus, in a few days, Pluto will be leaving Capricorn, and your house of chaos and routine and scheduling and gossip, and it will enter Aquarius, your seventh house of partners. So it will feel like this. I don't want to say dark energy, but this heavy duty. um, energy that you've had to deal with your routine and chaotic house is going to instantly feel like a relief, like an uplifting when once Pluto steps out of Capricorn and steps into Aquarius, and your partnership is just going to um, feel so uplifting, and it will actually help with this health or routine matter. So you've got just a few more days to go, and you'll have this uplifting feeling. Okay, and so you can see it's looking like a hot mess that you don't have the full information of. Like I said, with Mercury going retrograde and all this secretive house of Scorpio and what have you, plus um, the full moon concealing things, um, and the health matter that might put you on edge because Uranus is the planet of unexpected shock and surprise. So this ending, Uranus has something to do with this, but it's liberating. And if you listen to the intro, it'll explain how Uranus, even though might be volatile or shocking, it really does help free you of of your 10th house of career and status. Um, so what I'm trying to say is just sensible, avoiding any hard line decisions again. Okay, and the retrograde will bring you more info, and you should be good. Also, so sorry. Also, the other energies, because this scope really was just for the full moon in Taurus. I just wanted to do it for you guys because Uranus is the wild card here, and I wanted you to be aware of the energy. But this other stuff that I noted, that I touched upon, is all in your November scope. So if you haven't heard your November scope, just head on over and listen to that, and you'll get even a better picture of everything. And like I said, listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant sign to get a better, clearer picture. All right, Leo, I wish you well. And by the way, almost half of you who listen are not subscribed. If you found this informative or even entertaining, consider subscribing. It's free, or at least smash that like button. All right, Leo, I will talk to you guys in December.